Hello everyone, Shadefyre here, and welcome back to Let's Play Control. This is episode 29, and we are coming back because the second and presumably final DLC has been released, AWE. So, at this point, Director Jesse Faden has closed the Hiss portal that was allowing them to enter the Bureau, though it is not really stopped the Hiss from existing here. Then we saved the Foundation from being corrupted, and detethering reality by letting the astral plane in. So now we have to find out what our new mission is. Let's talk to Arish here.
I can't believe the emergency rations don't include beer.
He's got a side mission for us.
I'm thirsty. Man, I never thought I'd be working in the executive sector. Look at me now, Ma.
Arish's future.
So, what's next for Simon Arish?
Well, first off, I'm banning all slide projectors. That's it. Seriously, though, we need to review our protocols. Research should not be making decisions that endanger the entire Bureau, fuck it, the entire fucking world, without some serious oversight.
I think Pope would agree. Certain people...
Pretty sure we've already had this discussion when we beat the game.
And I'd like to make these HRAs part of the mandatory Bureau uniform. They're not stylish, but better safe than sorry.
I don't think anyone will complain. Not after this.
I guess he doesn't have anything for us right now. I don't know why he's marked red then.
You know where I'll be.
I don't think that was new dialogue. Alright, so we did get a mission that popped up right when I launched this. The new mission, a dark place. Investigate the sector elevator. Alright, where is that? Central Executive. I think it's just over here, right?
Welcome back, Director.
Is there just going to be a new button here?
Darkness engulfed the elevator. There was something there, reaching for her, trying to make her act. It was a distress call. Faden sensed a drowning man, a hunger in the dark.
Oh, there he is.
Investigation sector.
Alan Wake.
Investigation sector, huh?
Looking pretty rough, but apparently he's been in the darkness for like 10 years at this point, so it makes sense that he's a little ragged looking. I've heard that this is not really the, Alan Wake conclusive thing that maybe it sounded like it was going to be, but it's just kind of a, hey, these two from this same universe team up temporarily. Mostly by him telling us what to do. Oh my god, they finally added an unread tab. So this was the cassette tape that had Ati on it. We used this for one of the side missions. Item has proven impossible to fully contain when in proximity of human beings. Item sent to Redacted in the Redacted of the oldest house in order to prevent any future access. VHS home system tape cassette. Item will not eject from the television player used at the time its altered status became evident. The VHS plays footage of Redacted, entity A001, cleaning a floor and dancing. This footage renders individuals incapable of movement, speech, or thought while the television screen is within view, as we saw when we used it on the Hiss. This effect is estimated to last indefinitely, though most time spent in this state by a test subject is 21 hours. Individuals only recollect hearing strange music during their entranced state. Footage plays on a constant loop, even when the television is not connected to a power source. Even when the television and its footage are contained within an enclosed cell with no windows, agents in proximity have been driven to open and enter the cell by the item's entrancing nature. So that is when they accidentally created a altered item by recording Ati. Okay, I think this is all stuff we've seen. Hotline from Wake.
Darkness engulfed the elevator. There was something there. A presence. Jesse Faden could hear it. A call. It was faint, reaching for her from a dark place. Faden was sensitive to visitations. She had them all the time. From her guiding star and the previous director. She was the perfect receiver. As if she'd been made for this. Faden paused to feel it. The force at play here. It was changing things around her, subtle, trying to make her act. Faden didn't like that. Her guide felt it too. Polaris didn't flare up in defense as with the hiss, so it wasn't all bad. Not a hostile transmission. It was powerful, but it was coming from far away, and made weak because of the distance. It was a distress call. Faden sensed a drowning man, a man desperate to escape. She sensed something else, too. A hunger in the dark, not unlike the hostile resonance, waiting. She knew that desperate acts can have grim consequences. It was this, more than the man's despair, that made her follow the call. The elevator lights winked back on. The darkness receded like a memory. There was a new button on the elevator control panel. Investigation Sector. Faden pressed the button. The elevator doors slid shut with practiced bravado.
So, these ones are going to be in Wake's writing style because he is an author, and in the game, Alan Wake, he finds a bunch of pages written by him that he doesn't remember because he was in the darkness that are written in that style and describe things that are about to happen. So presumably, we're going to get locked down by the darkness in a second. Or it's already there. So this is a new sector that was unavailable during the main game. This was actually one of the few things they mentioned about this DLC before it was out, was that it would take place in the Forgotten Investigation sector. It sounds like we're going to have to deal with the darkness more than the hiss in this, which is the enemy of Alan Wake.
Hello? Anyone here?
Guess not.
Oh, I thought this was a control point. It's just the logo. I've also heard this one's a bit spookier than, you know, like the Foundation. The Foundation was okay, but I didn't think it was really significant of a DLC. It's just like, oh, it adds a bit more.
More crowded than the rest of the Bureau.
And I have to wonder if any of the stuff involving the board is going to come up in here, or if that's just sequel bait, basically. Because obviously there was a kind of thread of Jesse defying the board in the last DLC, and I think this one is entirely unrelated to that. Okay. Report by Dr. Darling. Official findings report. Dr. Casper Darling, internal confidential. Per authorization from Mr. Kirkland, Internal Investigations D-084-5 was launched into the ethical practices of Dr. Casper Darling, head of research. Despite the accounts of anonymous redacted regarding inhumane treatment of a redacted currently housed in the Bureau, our official findings regarding this were inconclusive. Numerous obstacles arose during this investigation. The majority of redacted sector personnel seem to be wholly unaware of any such blank contained there. One, redacted, confirmed the redacted's codename to be confirmed the redacted's codename to be redacted, but all files pertaining to that name were inaccessible, being classified under the highest clearance level. I'm guessing this is not talking about Dylan, because he seems like he was not really a secret. Investigators were similarly blocked from entering the redacted research wing to interview its staff. The matter was further complicated by the lack of clarity on whether non-human paranatural entities warrant humane treatment. Okay, so clearly it's talking about a non-human paranatural entity, and thus very much not Dylan. While this investigation cannot address any charges against Dr. Darling, we do recommend an investigation into redacted research. Casey inquiry. Mr. Dennis, a request came through recently from an FBI agent asking for all our files on Bright Falls, specifically on the disappearance of the author Alan Wake. Per the Interagency Information Exchange Agreement, I had some paper pushers gather up a folder of all pre-approved files. Don't worry, all the inappropriate material is either missing or redacted. But I'm writing to let you know that we received this request from a special agent named Alex Casey. Sounds familiar, right? That's because Alex Casey is the name of a fictional detective in those hard-boiled crime books Alan Wake wrote. Alex Casey is basically the name swap for Max Payne, because Alan Wake basically wrote Max Payne-style noir dramas. Pretty interesting that an FBI agent sharing a name with the most famous character Wake wrote is looking into a case dealing with the writer's fiction coming true. I think this is worth looking into, but what's your opinion? Just give the word and I'll start surveillance on this guy. Special Investigator Gleason. Do you think maybe Wake wrote him into existence? Since that is possible with the darkness? I need somebody on the outside investigating for me. Missing agents. Mr. Kirkland, here are the latest agents confirmed missing, presumed dead, from the containment breach yesterday. Jonathan Connor, Ezra Cruz, Caroline Dempsey, Lindsay Malcolm, Charles Murray, and Derek Shaw. Letters of condolence will be delivered to you to sign prior to sending them to their family. You will be updated as soon as additional confirmations are made. Also, per your request, a network engineer checked how many cases were backed up digitally. Unfortunately, a large number of active investigations were not archived yet, and only the hard copies of reports exist behind the firebreak. They're lost, I'm afraid. You think it'd be kind of a big deal for them to lose this whole paranatural investigations sector? I guess I could just melee this stuff out of the way. I'm gonna have to get used to playing this game again. It's been a couple months. Keystone inspection. Mr. Kirkland, we stopped at Keystone on our way to the target AWE, like you asked. I'm sending my report directly to you to try and keep a lid on this Grumman Morales desertion issue. We didn't find any signs of them here. Given their records, it is possible they've switched teams like you suspected, but I don't think that's the case. An event definitely occurred here in Keystone, and I think Grumman and Morales got caught up in it. The entire population has vanished into thin air. Reminds me of the Ordinary case, but that was just the adults if I'm remembering the file correctly. This is different. I think our guys are casualties, not traitors. If it was an AWE, it seems to be over. We walked through the whole town, and the only strange thing we noticed were markings on various buildings. 2 overlapping circles, with a dot in the shared space. Could be unrelated. I'll show you the pictures when I get back. In the meantime, you should send a team out here to cordon this place off and maybe get the comms guys working on a cover story. Agent Keenum. We'll probably hear about a bunch more cases like that while we're in here, since it is the investigations. That needs a battery. Boy, there's going to be a lot of reading in this episode, I think. There's a control point down there. Tractor procedures. Burrow tractor. Item not in Bureau custody. Not known. A Frank Elk tractor. Olive green. Dried blood on the grill when last seen. Item is capable of vocalized responses or growls and unmanned locomotion. Considered highly aggressive and dangerous. This item first came to the Bureau's attention after the death of William Burrow, owner of Burrow Farm outside of Trenton, Texas. Local authorities arrived on scene after an employee found the mutilated body of Mr. Burrow beneath his tractor. Police arrived but were immediately driven away by the tractor. Panic calls to federal authorities were intercepted by Bureau communications staff. A team was dispatched. Upon arrival, the agents approached the item, yet responded by growling like a bear. 3 agents were injured when they tried to detain the item, which escaped. Aerial searches for the item are ongoing. Speaking to Mrs. Burrows only revealed that she had a domestic altercation with Mr. Burrow earlier the night of the incident. Whether these events are connected is currently unknown. Killer tractor, alright. Ethics investigation. Official findings report regarding the Prime Candidate Program. Per authorization from Mr. Kirkland, internal investigation P.1429 was launched into the legality of the Prime Candidate Program, redacted by the Federal Bureau of Control. Since all known subjects relevant to the investigation used executive privilege to decline interviews, very little first-hand information was gathered. However, anonymous sources and documentation declassified by Mr. Kirkland both paint an alarmingly clear picture of systemic redacted and redacted. Redacted were brought into the oldest house and placed under redacted examination and testing with the aim of appointing one as director upon maturity. This program has produced no successful cases and only resulted in the traumatic redacted of paranaturally inclined redacted. That one's probably Dylan. Not only is this in breach of the Ash Act, but it flies in the face of basic human redacted. This investigation team unequivocally redacted the prime candidate program and recommends that it be redacted immediately. I mean, it's true that of the prime candidates, Jesse is the only one that actually became a director. The previous directors were appointed through circumstance and necessity. Like, I don't think Trench was ever a prime candidate.
There. Now that gate should open.
I don't remember how to do the slam. Again, I don't remember the controls great, so just do that instead. Oh, there's so many notes in here. Okay, we're just going to pick up these notes and come back to them later. I would like a break from reading. Trench, official warning. Director investigation. And the fact that we actually have a tab for these means I'll know which ones I didn't read. Underhill background. Like, there's 4 friggin' documents in this room. Oh, no, that's a chest. 3 documents in this room. Launch speed boost. It's only level 3. I think we have a better one. There's another one there. Cauldron Lake update. That one is immediately relevant. Staffing issue. I'm once again wishing for a flashlight. Tractor supplement. Oh my god. Alright, welcome to the reading episode. Resignation letter. Seriously, I mean, I like the world building. I do like reading the notes. Obviously, I've read every single one that I found. But just space them out a little bit, please. I wouldn't mind if I didn't have to read them out loud. I know I used to be just like...
Detective, but something definitely happened here.
I'm trying to like Dead Space 2 this by aiming around, try to get the flashlight. But yeah, I started reading these things out loud because... Okay, well now I have to read that one because I opened it. Because I figure people aren't always, you know, watching every moment. They've got this open in another tab or whatever. I could just read this out and they don't have to switch over and pause it and read it themselves. Paracriminal Profile, the Blessed Organization. This group, individual, has operated outside the Bureau's notice for decades, perhaps longer, displaying a level of skill and caution rarely seen in paracriminal groups. We've never even seen mention of paracrime before. A review of past cases has found various mentions of their activity over the years, so it's like the Chaos Insurgency. In 2016, a production company called Blessed Pictures was connected to an altered item case. Oh no, wait, I remember this one from the last DLC. This is the one that made the killer camera. As well as the death of an agent from exposure to illicit paranatural materials. In 1994, a Los Angeles-based public speaker named Chester Bless was involved in illegal use of an altered item. I think that was the surfboard. In 1988, a business called Blessed Repair and Service was suspected of involvement with an object of power case, perhaps even creating it. None of these businesses or individuals have ever been located. However, their connection to appearances of altered items and objects of power is too direct to be considered circumstantial. An arrest order has been issued for any persons believed to be involved with the Blessed Organization. I mean, the SCP Foundation also has the list of persons of interest. Okay, the fire break is blocked, but we do have a switch here.
Do we know each other? This feels familiar.
So we saw this black spiral door
I've
before.
forgotten it. I'm sorry. My name is Alan Wake. Who are you? Who are you?
Well, I assume it's not Mr. Scratch.
Tom Zane. There's nothing to worry about.
Tom, the poet, the diver, you look different.
That was just a role, a character.
I'm not wearing the diving
The
suit anymore.
protagonist I played in my old film. I'm a filmmaker, an auteur like yourself. We're working on this together, remember? An artistic collaboration. You need a drink. Yippish.
Is that Ati?
Endless darkness. Nothing holds still.
But we're very close now. You've been riding. You found a way to escape. It'll work this time.
Riding?
You found a way!
No. I don't... Wait. There's something.
Zane does have a bit of an accent here, like a bit of a Finnish accent.
He's out there. I've seen him.
Yeah. Nothing to worry about. I'm dealing with it. It's fine, my friend. Let me handle him.
You've met him? What the hell?
Now, come on. You misunderstand me.
Well, that was very weird. Jesse's like, what the fuck? I don't know what any of that means. It's kind of weird, though, that
It was Alan Wake. the
Wake is
writer who
surprised
went
about that.
missing in that AWE case I read about. What's
Because-
he doing here?
near the end of the first game, Zane introduces Wake
Thomas Zane?
to his doppelganger.
The poet. No, wait. He was a filmmaker. I always remember that wrong.
I'm thinking that filmmaker thing is a little bit of rewriting history. Alright, so there's the board. Looking pretty dark outside the Oceanview. Is there... I feel like these windows are normally closed. Stop that. Thought we were going to get an episode of Night Springs in there. New Bureau alert. Way to kill the mood, Bureau alert. Maybe don't make it dark in here, Jesse. That seems like a bad idea. But she doesn't know that.
Dr. Emil Hartman, devoured by hungry darkness, became the thing that had been Hartman. Broke loose, killed everyone it could, lurking, roaming, waiting. Then something else came, a resonance. The thing that had been Hartman went through another change.
Alright. Well, I feel like that's going to tie into this DLC. Hartman is kind of a minor antagonist in Alan Wake that ends up getting swallowed by the darkness. So I guess he became a horrible darkness monster and then got infected with the hiss and became even worse?
Dr. Emil Hartman was desperate. The Federal Bureau of Control had stolen his life's work. This was his last chance, his final experiment. What he'd been too scared to do before. Hartman dove into the lake, was taken, devoured by hungry darkness, became the thing that had been Hartman. Only an echo of him remained, fragmented impulses on autoplay, violent, bloodthirsty darkness in the driver's seat. Emerging from the lake, the thing was captured by the FBC, brought in, contained, studied. The thing broke loose, killed everyone it could. the FPC fell back and sealed the sector. The thing was alone in the dark, lurking, roaming, waiting. Then something else came. Not darkness, but similar enough. A sound. A resonance. It shouldn't be a surprise. If there's one, why not another? The darkness inside the thing could have been immune, could have resisted, fought, could have been passed by, passed through with no effect. But it didn't, and it wasn't. Maybe it had grown weaker over time, not aged. It was timeless, but weaker with no link to its source. A metamorphosis followed. The thing that had been Hartman went through another change.
So we're gonna have to deal with a doubly altered Hartman. Alright, so it seems pretty clear that that's what they were containing in the investigation sector. I'm not sure why they wouldn't just have that in the containment sector, but I'm pretty sure that's going to be our antagonist for this DLC. I guess it makes sense, because at the end of Alan Wake, limited spoiler, all the people who were taken by the darkness get reset back to before, so that means that would have infected Hartman as well. And I guess he was like, well, I remember what happened. Which he shouldn't have, but maybe he did. And then the Bureau showed up and took away everything. Is that an astral spike over there? Can I get over there? I have now remembered that it is C to slam down. Is that a new combat track? I feel like this game really only has, like, one main combat track. So how did that happen? Those things automatically open. I guess he was trying to get out, maybe, when it was sealing itself. Oh, this one opens.
Creepy, damp, and abandoned. Why did Wake want me to come here?
Because there's a horrible monster on the loose that you need to get rid of, Jesse. So, you think we're going to get a flashlight in this to help us deal with the darkness? Because obviously that was a problem in Alan Wake. You needed a flashlight to remove the darkness from enemies before you could actually damage them. Shaded faucet. Well, that's a new upgrade item. Now, does that mean we'll be able to upgrade our weapons again, or just make new mods? What's going on here?
Doesn't look like a house shift. Do I even want to know?
We've got all these possibilities. Huh. Right, never mind. I was like, they broke photo mode for this, but I forgot I used the in-game photo mode, not the photo mode from NVIDIA. Yeah, that's weird enough that I think you'd be like, what's going on here? This looks like a terrible Gmod accident. So I am curious to see how this is going to tie into Alan Wake, because Alan Wake is a series that I really wish had gone somewhere. They were going to do a sequel like forever ago, and then I guess no one ever picked up the pitch, was the problem. Or Microsoft owned it at the time, and then they eventually got it back. Filing and processing. Oh, we got our first combat encounter here. This looks like some regular hiss. It's good, I need to remember how to fight. before they throw me into a special combat encounter. One good thing I've heard is that there's apparently not a lot of combat focus in this DLC, which is good, because the combat in this game is fine, but I feel like at this point it is a little stale, because it doesn't really change much once you've got all the powers. You know, they added a little bit of a wrinkle in the last DLC, but that was locational. I don't think there's going to be any foundation material for us to control down here. Pull spikes out of the floor. Because I guess they have to design it so that you haven't necessarily played the DLC, the other one, before this one. If you only bought one of them because you're like, oh, Alan Wake. Foot gossip. Hartman arrest.
Whoa. Looks like the house has gotten a little wild in here.
I don't think I can get through there. Yep, I don't think I'm getting in there. If only I had RTX, this would look so much more impressive. Sadly, I still haven't even installed my Ryzen CPU. It's still sitting on a shelf because I gotta put enough money towards buying a new full tower before I can install that. Surge fires adhesive munitions that detonate when manually triggered, or if their timer expires. Well, that sounds more useful than Charge. It's like a sticky grenade launcher. I mean, my only problem with Charge is that it's not very strong, despite the fact that it's like our explosive. That's neat that they added a new weapon form, though. Can't upgrade it, though. Which, you know, hopefully it's good then by itself. It doesn't look like they added anything new to the upgrades tree. Actually, that multi-launch might have been new. Didn't actually see what this mod was. Shield efficiency. Yeah. I'm gonna have to delete a bunch of mods again, which I think is probably one of the worst parts of this game, is just dealing with the mods. Because they don't matter that much, but they matter enough that you want to make sure you're using decent ones. How do I get in there? Apparently just fucking slam through the wall. It might be concrete, but it's not that tough concrete. And it's only a level 3 charge blast boost, so it's not even worth the gold case it comes in. Alright. I think I got all the notes that were here. Keeping an eye out for that circle. And I'm pretty sure there will be some side missions in this as well. Hello, Darkness, my old friend.
Darkness is blocking the door.
Come to goop with me again, have you?
Now I have to deal with an interdimensional noise and sentient shadows.
I was hoping we'd get, you know, some more Alan Wake-inspired enemy stuff in this instead of just the hiss, but it seems to be both. Okay, we could probably use these lights against them. I wonder if we'll get hiss protected by a darkness shield. Because that seems possible.
Makes sense.
Oh, no secrets in there. This guy got straight gooped. You can see his skull and everything. And his skull came off. This is a moldy room, but we are immune to the mold now because we fought the giant mold flower. And it's just another friggin' chest. Suppose it makes sense for there to be a new material, though, since every sector had its own sector-specific material on top of the regular ones. Well, there's Hartman. It's a big fucking, like, Slender Man goop monster. Nope, not that, not that.
The third thing. The sound made darker, the darkness made louder. Hartman was stretched, like a worm through time. The third thing was a monster. Now he crashed out of darkness toward Phaeton.
This does make me wonder where they're going to go with this remedy verse that they've been putting together, because Alan Wake, Control, and Quantum Theory? Quantum Break? I can't remember what the time one is called. Are all part of it. So is the next game from them going to be another game in this setting? Or is it going to be, you know, like a sequel to Control? Or what? I do hope if we do get a sequel to Control at some point, it has nothing to do with the hiss. You know, I'd rather them go with some other AWE that's affecting the world than just keep using the hiss. Alright, there's a whole lot to explore here, and then there was another area back there, I think.
My understanding of the darkness is fragmented, incomplete. This abyss, this void, it very much does not wish to be understood. If light symbolizes knowledge, then it stands to reason that darkness would equate to ignorance. By its very nature, it abhors comprehension. Of course, my own nature drives me to comprehend all. We are opposing forces, destined to collide. And given this conflict of natures, we know that the light of truth will burn away the darkness, both figuratively and literally. Any significant light source can be used as protection, even weaponry against this metaphysical gloom. And then there are the artists. I know for a fact that Tom, Wake, the Anderson brothers, and Lane all had some involvement with the darkness. The question is whether their uncanny ability to affect reality through their art beckons the darkness.
I don't remember who Lane is.
Work, perhaps even create it. With Wake now secure in my lodge, I expect I shall grow closer to learning the answers to these questions. Assuming he cooperates, which is proving quite the challenge. Well, perseverance is the foundation of knowledge. Speaking of, I must be off on my rounds.
It's been quite a while since I last played Alan Wake, but I can tell you right off the bat that that is not Hartman's original voice actor. Alright, all I gotta do is extend my pseudopods and flip this switch, but apparently I can't. So I think we'll end it here for this first part of Control AWE. But yeah, I'm interested to see where this goes and how they're gonna kind of use this to wrap up Control, because I don't think there's anything else coming after this. The season pass was only 2 DLC. Oh, now we can flip the switch. Those are new. I had to kind of look at them for a second, but like, yeah, I don't remember flying guys with guns. Anyhow, till next time, I've been Shadefyre, this is Control, and thank you for returning to the Federal Bureau of Investigation with me. Wait, no. That's just the FBI. Federal Bureau of Control with me. Till next time, take care, everyone.